When you were 16, this is the question. When you were 16, where did you think you would be now?
When I was 16,
Yeah. So,
uh, right here, right now. This is exactly how I planned it. you know, and I say that in a way where I have my freedom. That's what I mean, and I feel success is measured certain ways. Back when I was 16, I wanted to be a skateboard mogul. I wanted to. Did I say that right?
mogul?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Anyway, man. Yeah. Yeah. This is where it should be, man. When I was 16, man, I thought, bigger places, bigger things. I've done so much since I was 16. I think I went to my first punk rock show when I was 16 years old. I had a skateboard zine, put on skateboard contests back then. And guess what? I'm 47 and I still put on skateboard contests. Produced one for Afro Punk last summer. And I'm on tour right now with a hippie jam band. So I don't really think I grew up in that sense. But at the same time, I'm able to enjoy my life, have this freedom that, I look at my other friends. Yeah, they are successful. They have a lot of money, but they sort of envy me because I'm doing something that I've never stopped doing. When I was 16, this is exactly how I was when I was 16. So just a little bit more mature. I'm a free black man. No convicted felons. Never spent a day in prison. So, yeah, skateboarding saved my life. Doing the shit that I wanted to do saved my life. I did step away from school for a while, but that wasn't the end of the world. That was just the beginning of a journey that nobody can really even get today. So yeah, when I was 16, yeah, this is where I thought I would be.
when you were when you were 16, how did you think the road would be to now? So, how did you think this was going to happen to you getting to where you are now? Were you?
It was just networking. When I was 16, I had one of the most craziest racial incidents happen to me, and kind of opened up my eyes to the world. I went to a punk rock show. This is down in South Florida. I went to go see 7 Seconds with a group called Circle Jerks. And I wanted to do an interview with 7 Seconds, who was Kevin Seconds of the band at the time. And I got kicked out of the show prior to the show starting by the owner of the club, who brought the police and asked me to leave because he thought I was in a gang called the Latin Kings, and I came there to fight neo-Nazi skinheads. That's the actual what he told me. Cops kicked me out. Long story short, I had friends of mine who were sharp skinheads, which they're the ones who fight neo-Nazi skinheads for whatever reasons. And they came to my aid. They were in a band called The Believers, and they were like, hey, you got kicked out because you were black. And that was the first time that somebody put it that way to me. But later on, long story short as well, I wrote a letter on a Burger King bag because I got kicked out of the club, and I was in the parking lot, and somebody gave the letter to 7 Seconds that were about to perform. I found out that they read that letter on stage in front of everybody because they were completely against racism. One of these punk rock bands that really had a meaning and had words to say back then. Fast forward 9 months later, they came back down again, and a buddy of mine, he was in another band. They were opening up for 7 Seconds, same night that Metallica was playing. They knew that they couldn't compete with Metallica, so they were like, hey, we're going to do the show after the Metallica shit. Let's go see Metallica. Buddy called me up. He said, hey, we're going to see Metallica with 7 Seconds. Do you want to go? I said, yeah. And when I got there, I ended up sitting right next to Kevin Seconds, the lead singer of 7 Seconds. And I told him what happened. He was just like, wait a minute. Are you the kid who wrote the letter on the back of the Burger King bag? And I was just like, yeah. And he reached in his wallet and he pulled out the letter. And he was like, yo, we read this at every one of our shows. So that right there, that moment to know that somebody, felt me at a 16, I was 16, 17 years old at the time. Yeah, that changed my life. So, yeah, that's one of those life-changing things that was just like, yo, stay who you are. You know, don't change because of the times. You know, you change with the times, but in a way where it's not, you don't change the core value of who you are, you know? Things could have went either way. I could have came out and has been somebody who hated white people because I tried to be cool with white people, you know? But I saw it as like, yo, this is not one of those moments. You know what I mean? It's just like people were for me, you know, they were like working hard to get my voice heard. So, you know, big up to those people back then, man. I don't know where I would be without them, you know? So, yeah, man.
So if I'm working on this too, just so you know, I'm working on a time machine. But if my time machine was ready, but I only could send you back to 16, what would you tell yourself? Well, what would you tell 16-year-old you if you could travel back in time?
Easily, man. Never trust a big butt and a smile, man. I learned that, man, you know? Though I was a young dad. You know, I was 21, I had my first son, man. Colombian chick. 6 years later, she tells me that he was never my son to begin with. Yeah, so never trust a big butt and a smile, man. I tried to do the right thing, man. I guess good guys finish last, but guess what? That kid is now 25 years old. He's in the Navy, and we stay in contact. I would like to have a DNA test done just to confirm that, but, you know, I was like, you know, into the whole fatherhood thing at an early age, you know? So I don't look at it as a bad thing. I look at it as a good thing. I learned my lesson. That's it. But yeah, time machine, good idea. I would go back and literally tell me, yo, never trust a big butt and a smile, and invest in like green shit. Because it's going to be legal in every state across America, and you'll be a millionaire like my homeboy Duncan. That's it.
All right, dope. Okay.